We're in this phase in our economy that has led to some dead ends, and the obviousness of these dead ends is occurring to many people right now. The let's call it selling from the stage, or the persuasion marketing approaches, or the idea of becoming popular on social media and creating a product around how to get clients, how to become popular, how to succeed on social media, feels like it's coming to an end. Those approaches don't work. They're disconnected from reality. They're disconnected from purpose. They're disconnected from vision. They're disconnected from the human beings who are in them. They're designed to make money at scale for the people who have created them. And that is the only reason they exist. There are many people who appear to be doing that, who are doing incredible things in the world. There is a big difference between somebody like Mel Robbins, who has a real deep product, in other words, an understanding of how reality works, and someone like Russell Brunson, who doesn't, and has a lead acquisition system that supports his lifestyle. Is not the same. In fact, it's the opposite. We are now finally, as a society, aware of this. And this is almost like a dark age that's gone on for way too long. And it's time to end it. Escape from crazy. Escape from the audience seats, sitting in the audience, being funneled into someone's passive income strategy is not only possible, but it's inevitable that sanity will return, because it has returned already. There's enough people who see through this stuff now, where you are not going to persuade me to follow you, period. I am not following these people. I am not paying attention to what they're saying, and I am not learning from them, because they don't know what they're talking about. What they're talking about has nothing to do with reality at all. It's a fabricated system that I started thinking of as popularity founder mode. Popularity founder mode is not based on any reality of life principles that exist. None. There's no law underneath it in terms of natural laws, life laws. There's no principles underneath in terms of just realities that exist. And there's no traditions in history that lead towards thinking any of this is important, real, or useful. It's not only not important, but it's useless. And these approaches that have like infected and permeated our society now are being exposed. And so many of these people have hidden agendas, and the hidden agenda is starting to come out. It's almost impossible to hide anything today online. Everyone can see. We see their projections. We see their confusion. We see them posing and posturing and building attractive characters on the stage, and then even saying that's what they're doing. It's absolutely unbelievable. We're at a moment in history where our ability as a group to use purpose, connect into the market, and know ourselves sets us forward and into the freedom that comes when you combine what's personal and what's work. That is real. That is about how to use purpose to connect into the market, not to market yourself to people so they do what you want, so you get a passive income and they get nothing in return, except a step-by-step pathway to what? Be like them. Nobody wants that in reality. The simple breakdown of the walls between life and business leads to better outcomes. These walls must break down. The hidden agendas have to break down. The what's going on behind the stage, the conversations about how to manipulate the market are there. I've been in them. I know what's going on. I've been in these meetings many, many, many times over many, many years. I know how marketing works. Business leads to better outcomes. Less stress as work overwhelms family, and more traction at work as family overwhelms work time. Life is not about marketing yourself to get what you want in the world from the world. Life is about knowing yourself, unveiling your purpose, knowing what your obstacles are to success, how to overcome them, and bringing who you are and the power that lies underneath this as it unveils itself into the world. And if you're going to be an entrepreneur or work for yourself in any capacity, to turn that into a real product anchored in purpose. Who can do this? Anybody. What happens when you do this? You have less stress at work. So now your family can handle you. You're not bringing stress into your family. It's not bleeding into your family life because you're pushing to get up the hill to get your 100 million. No one in life has ever succeeded doing that. And you get more traction at work if you're like me, a creative entrepreneur where you just can't stop thinking about what you want to do. There's too many initiatives. And then all of a sudden, work overwhelms family. They go together. They go together. And as you anchor yourself in purpose, you begin to settle into the present moment. As I settle into the present moment, my thoughts are freer. They're flowing. They're flowing. As I settle into the present moment, my emotional understanding of what's happening inside me is allowed because I'm not pushing for some kind of result to be like the people on the stages. I'm not playing middle school anymore. I'm playing real life, which can be like hardball. I get tough. I get invincible. I lower the parking brakes that block me from my destiny. That's how life is. That means anyone can do it. You don't need special skills. You don't need to be popular. You do need to be visible. If you're in business, you have to be visible. It's possible to live in the spiritual plane all the time and just be broke and trying to manifest money into your bank account. It won't work. And there's plenty of people there to sell you this lifestyle. It's seductive. It's not true. It won't work. There's also I call it personal acceleration. You're personally accelerating into deep destiny, flow of mind, emotional connection, and embodiment of who you are as your true nature emerges and you realize yourself through practices that allow you to become one with your true nature and all of the power of the universe. And that is exposed inside you. And your limited self goes away because it's integrated now. That's called individuation. And that now becomes you. You'll be broke at the end without business traction. If you're on the business traction side and you get that, and you know how to get out in the market, you know how to do all these things and create the company and you did, that's great. If you ignore the personal acceleration, you'll spend the rest of your life running through punch lists, chasing bucket lists, and wondering what happened because you are severed from life. You're disconnected from reality. You're disconnected from your body. You're disconnected from emotion, and you're disconnected from thought because you're forcing thought. You're forcing emotion, and you're ignoring what's going on in your body. I'll just push through it. Life is about the integration of these things, and it's about doing it the way you feel is right. Nobody knows what's right for you. That's why the bullshit from the stage is bullshit by definition. Now, if somebody has something for real that they've honed and refined based on these kinds of principles and they're on a stage talking about it, that is not the same thing. That's great. That is not the same thing as someone with an agenda to sell you more stuff. Of course, they want to make money. They're on the stage. They put themselves out there. They found something. And now they're sharing it with the world to realize their own purpose and destiny. That is not the same thing as someone doing a popularity contest with their best friends with deals going on behind the scene and joint ventures. So all of them make more money at your expense. Discern the difference using common sense. Listen to the language. Know how persuasion marketing works. They're using the same textbook and they teach it. Know how experience sharing works. There is no hidden agenda with experience sharing because I'm exposing my heart, my mind, and who I really am in my body to you. How does that happen? Light is coming through us. Vibrational frequency is coming through us in our voice and who we are, honestly, authentically, and without blocks and barriers into the world. That's destiny realized without proof. I don't care how much money I make and how successful this is. I'm not going to put up a page with screenshots from an empty bank account to show you the before story so you buy more in the after story. I won't do it because it's bullshit. I'm not going to figure out how to sell more, market more, or get you to give me a passive income. I'm going to do all of that. And I have my entire life through experience sharing of being in destiny, in the flow of energy, of creative thought, in my imagination, taking action in the world connected into that. And that is what we're doing on our campus. And we do it every day and we do it all day long. Whether we're together or not, we're doing it. It happens automatically. I've written a lot about mastermind, and this is mastermind community. It happens automatically when the energy is clear and there's a shared desire in the group. There's nothing to work on. You don't have to work on yourself. There are no problems to solve. There's life to be lived. And business traction means you'll make money doing it. Why are spiritual communities broke? Why are business communities empty of meaning and devoid of purpose, with people posing and pretending? The question is, why? And the answer is, let's move on. Let's put a stake in it. Rest in peace, marketing era. Let's move into the experience sharing economy. It's already here. Ride the wave. That's all you have to do. You don't have to understand it. You don't have to figure it out. We don't have to learn anything. None of my opinions are important. None of them matter. My experience matters. It's important. And sharing that experience is there's no other reason to be alive. What's going on campus? It's incredible. The power of the group to turn work into a daily routine that connects into purpose. How do you find your purpose? You connect into purpose. You don't go find it. The power of the group transforms work into a daily routine of energetic connection to purpose in your body. We do it every day. It is in fact, the opposite of working on yourself all the time. You don't have to work on yourself. It's not necessary. Being yourself is the work. And do that in the power of the group, the power of the group. Knowing that your success is inevitable by using your relationships to power business. Relationships anchored in life are not about reciprocity networking. So I get from you and then you get from me. We think that's how it works. It's not. There's a book about this called The Go-Giver. That book is about mastermind community. Joe, in that book, was not taught by Pindar how to succeed. He was allowed in to Pindar's private group through a heart connection where Pindar was realizing his own destiny and allowing regular people who were not successful into it without some special criteria. And every day, Joe met a different person. That was not about networking reciprocity, but it's being taught that way. When you do this the way I'm talking about, and this happened to Joe in the book, The Go-Giver, that's been misinterpreted by many people. You know your success is inevitable because you're using relationships to power business. The heart connection, the connection in mind, the connection in emotion brings together you without division inside yourself. So now you're no longer projecting your opinions and beliefs and convictions into the world, trying to get people to buy stuff from you. It goes away. That's what happened to Joe. And then all of a sudden the phone rings and there's money on the other end of the call. How do you do this? You find ways to relax, work smart, and enjoy the day rather than get stuck in the grind. There's a guy who's huge on social media who has no idea what he's doing and he's stuck. I see it. I can see right through it. Him and his wife. It's wrong. Completely wrong. It's not an opinion. It's not based on principles. It's not my opinion. It's not based on principles. That's how I can see it because I'm in the principles. What's one principle? Finding ways to relax. Why? Because it opens up the energy flow. Why do certain sports teams always win? Because they come in relaxed. They know they're going to win. Why is the fight won before it starts? The training and the fighter knows I'm going to win. They're not making it up. They're relaxed. Relaxing into intelligence, into creative intelligence is what I'm talking about. That's real. The rest of the stuff is not. It's wrong. Work smart. What does that mean? Think, notice, adjust, and calibrate. And when you're connecting with people, connect, ask, and share. That's it. There's nothing to learn. You just do it. But doing that requires slowing down so you notice what's going on in the market, but also inside yourself, expanding your self awareness. It's that simple. And enjoy the day. If I'm not enjoying the day, I'm doing something wrong. I'm disconnected myself from my body, my emotion, and my thoughts. If I'm not enjoying the day, I'm doing it wrong. People are teaching it that way. Be more productive, be more efficient, be more effective, be more this, be more that, be more this. In other words, be like me or follow my approach. When the truth is, all you have to do is learn to enjoy the day. We do this every day in our group. I know I'm off when I'm not having fun. That happens all the time. What happens when I do that? I get stuck in the grind. People are teaching how to get stuck in the grind on social media, and they're putting up opinion quotes as if it's immutable life truth. They don't know what they're talking about at all. It's a big problem. Gain freedom from the pressure of your business team and clients and customers. The business is pressure filled by its very nature of being a business. If you're responsible, you have a $50 million company, $100 million company. I've been in CEO groups with a lot of these people. And, I'm like, I know you got a ski house in Telluride. It's been great, but you just spent the last 3 years talking about your terrible relationship with your partner. This has been workshopped to death. There's speakers who've come in who've talked about how to do partnerships right. None of it works because it's emotional and thinking issues and embodiment issues of disconnection from self. What's the truth here? The truth is, I just want to go skiing and Telluride. I don't want to do this anymore, but I don't want to ruin my legacy. I'm talking about a specific person, very successful. Um, 3 years. I'm listening to the same conversation, the masterminding of problems and special speakers, top vetted speakers coming in to speak. I'm like, none of this is real. It doesn't make any sense. None of it. Um, why am I creating relationship problems? Not what's wrong with this partner and what business systems will help me get what I want so I can exit my company in a couple of years and ski more and Telluride and be with my family because I built up this company, him in particular, over 30 years and succeeded. The only thing that would work would be to identify, how did I create this mess? What is inside me that leads me over year after year after year to have a problem relationship with my partner? Why am I afraid to sever that relationship? Or why am I afraid to keep it? Who knows the answer? That person. Who else? Nobody. How do you get to the answer? What I'm talking about. Learn to tell the truth to yourself. How do you do that? Within a group. We had a group, never did that, not once. There was a severance between personal development, or I call personal acceleration, and business traction. It was separated. We never talked about real deep stuff. I never understood it because I'm used to talking about real deep stuff, but not in business. I'm like, this has got to come together or this is not going to work. This is what we're doing on campus and in this company, Entrepreneur Experience Company. And you do it on your own terms. You don't have to go as deep as we do. You'll be around it. It'll work immediately for you. You don't have to do anything. Just show up. It'll work immediately. And I refuse to show you any social proof to prove that. I'm not going to do it. It'll just happen automatically. I don't have to worry about it. Learn the difference between purpose-driven work and work that leads to life of purpose. Purpose-driven work means I'm figuring out how to create a purpose-driven company. I'm thinking, how do I create a purpose-driven company? What's the steps? What are the ways? No one in history has ever done that. No one. We're teaching that, and we think that's possible. It's not. Purpose is an unveiled truth, and it's underneath pain that you got to pay attention to and deal with, grapple with, be honest about. Work that leads to a life of purpose comes from that. Why am I doing this, what I'm doing? Why did I become this? How do you know? Stories. I spent 2 years talking to myself about my story. And all of a sudden I realized, oh my God, I've had an original life. I've done stuff most people talk about, dream about. I've done it. And I didn't know. I told myself a story. Oh, it's been so hard. Oh my God, why? No, that's not what happened. But that's the story I believed. How did I get to that? I did it. I got to it. Told the truth to myself. I feel outsider, like an outsider. Why do I have to do all this business development stuff? I don't want to be in business at all. Why did inner directed purpose unveils itself? I have to own who I am. It's that simple. That leads to a life of purpose, not figuring out what my purpose is. Doesn't work that way. That's backwards. Why are we doing this? Money sells. Packaging a product and selling it from the stage is a lot easier than telling the truth about yourself, especially when you don't even know because you've never done that work. A lot of these people selling this stuff have never even done the work. I can hear it immediately in their voice, their tone. They're hyped up. I did an not adrenaline, but I pumped myself up to get on the stage. Now I'm going to show you. How you could be like me. Lying to yourself and profiting from it is not a real life. The typical modern business owner, entrepreneur, service provider wants to make enough money to live a life of purpose, meaning, and enjoyment. Isn't that true? How are you going to get that? You do it. The business is a vehicle to have a life. It's not the point in the end that you take into the history books your big accomplishment. Nobody cares, especially you, because it's not why you're here in the world. You want to make enough money to live a life of purpose, meaning, and enjoyment. And if you're a spiritually oriented person and you can't make money, you can never get business traction, that's a problem. Unless that's what you want. You want to be a monk or what I call walk the earth and do it. That's fine. The virtual nomadic life with no possessions. There's nothing wrong with that at all if that's what you want. If it's not, it's a problem. You need business skills, business traction skills, and support around that because it's going to be hard for you because it's new. You're doing it wrong. You probably got caught up in a how to succeed networking community or bought one of these courses about, how to brand yourself or whatever it is. And you got all confused. You got to unlearn that. You can unlearn it like quick, but unlearning's the hardest part I'm found. Playbooks that lead toward a disconnect between what you care about the most and getting there through having more time as the business succeeds rarely works as hoped. This is the myth of passive income, the creator economy myth of popularity. And if I just get enough followers, I can have a passive income because I can sell them a scalable coaching program or a course. No, not true. The playbooks sold to do that lead to a disconnect between what you care about the most. How would that work if you don't know what you care about the most? The person who's selling it at the higher end of the market did that. And now they're lying to you without even knowing it. The playbook that leads to a disconnect between what you care about the most will not work if you don't know what you care about the most. That's the real work. I have never seen one of those business groups, and I've been in a million of them, that does that or even understands it. That's separated completely. It's not going to work. You can't create in your imagination something that is someone else's approach to success and succeed. They'll never happen. Playbooks that lead toward a disconnect between what you care about the most and getting there through having more time as the business succeeds rarely works as hoped. Getting all that money to have time is a lie. It doesn't work like that. Slowing down time through connecting deeper into your body does work. I know, I've done it. We all have. I have plenty of time. And it's not because I have money. I have time because I can breathe. Many spend years pushing away a bigger idea, vision, or family in pursuit of getting enough money to sell the business, delegate more work, or focus on what you love only at work. Another myth. It's incredible how many there are right now, but we're getting to sanity. Everything exhausts itself, and this is exhausting and exhausted. Your goal is not getting enough money to sell the business or sell the business so you have enough money so you can do whatever you want. It is not to delegate more work, and it is not to focus on what you love at work. That is not a goal. That is an outcome. It's not a goal. You don't make that happen. What you do if you make that happen is you're pushing away a bigger idea, your vision, or your family, because you're pursuing what is an outcome. What's the cause and what's the effect? Think about it like this. This is common sense. We are bringing into the world the best entrepreneur business system, business traction, and personal acceleration that has ever existed. in the world. It's new. It took a long time, and it comes from the heart, the mind, and the emotion, and our body, in a way. Not in a way, but for real. It is the best. It's not. It's not a work in progress. It is what we've created here on the Entrepreneur Experience. Us, it's a group creating these products together. The workshops and everything that's launching now. These workshops are. Um, one is world class. Now pull it all together, and you've got the best business traction and personal acceleration system that has ever been created.